Hello everyone, and thank you for coming back to my channel. Welcome everyone. So I totally was not planning on doing a video today, but I was watching some YouTube videos and I came across this very urgent and important video that I really want you guys to see. It's regarding about 12 missing teenage Black and Latino girls. They all came up missing within a 3-day span. So again, I talk about, you know, this is a really sad story, and I talk about the harvesting. It was really hard for me to say that because I don't want to imagine that anything is wrong with these girls. I hope and I pray to the universe that they are fine and they will be found fine, that we found okay. But it's, I don't know, it gives me chills. It's really sad. We're not hearing it on mainstream news. It's not on the cover of the newspapers, of course, because these children are black children and Latino children. And I know Latino is not a race, but whatever. It's really sad. So I'm gonna find this video and try to share it with you guys so that we can see what's going on. We need to make videos like this go viral, and that's part of why I'm doing it. I don't know why it's not picking up. There it is. Okay, now it is. I don't know what's going on. Okay, there it is again. Now I'm nervous about whether it's going to play. Okay, yeah, so it seems like, you know, Boyce did a video on it, but I have to, just because the more people we reach, the better. I can't imagine my child being missing. Like, it's worse than I think anything else, because you don't know if those children are being tortured or raped or whatnot. But usually when children come up missing, it's definitely something sinister behind it. And with white supremacy and this white supremacist terrorism going on, you never know what is going on or why these teenage girls are missing. Is it a coincidence that they're girls, and a coincidence that they're, you know, brown-skinned girls? There could be a lot of evilness behind them being missing. I don't see anything positive as a reason for them to be missing. Like, they're not linked to each other. They're not sisters or brothers or cousins, or sisters, not brothers. But let's watch this video, and then we'll chat about it. It's my throat feels a lump in it. I really feel really bad energy from this one. Like, literally my throat is tight, and I feel this like tingling, negative tingling all over and in the pit of my stomach. And as soon as I went to this video, I start feeling that way. So this is not going to be a long video, because I literally don't feel, I feel really bad. But I mean, I hesitate to play it, which is weird. Like, my body is not wanting to play it, but I'm going to play it, and we're going to watch it. Yeah, so hopefully it plays.
Search for missing teens in Washington, D.C. Nearly a dozen Black and Latina girls reported missing in recent days, and authorities are now trying to raise awareness. ABC's Lindsay Davis is in Washington with the very latest on this story. Good morning, Lindsay.
Good morning, Amy. This is a storyline that primarily gained traction online, and there are those in social media who say that Tom Brady's missing jersey got more coverage than these missing girls. But D.C.
And so what she's letting you know is the only reason her news station is doing a report on this is because of social media. This is a platform that we have. We need to utilize it the best way we can. Just sharing a video is the easiest way. We can share it on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. we have to get this out there. These girls' lives could literally depend on it. You know, so we really, any one person we can send this to, and one right person views it can really save these girls' lives. Let's watch the rest. And now my thing doesn't want to play.
Police say it's not a matter that more girls are missing. They say they're simply doing a better job of getting the word out when people do go missing. These are the alarming posts catching the attention of social media users across the country. A series of tweets by Washington, D.C. police asking to help find nearly a dozen Black teenage girls reported missing over the course of just 3 days.
All of a sudden, we saw having a lot of young females missing.
Those teens are among 38 people in total now listed as missing, some of them described as critically missing on DC's Metropolitan Police site, many of them young Blacks or Latino teenage girls.
So it says 38 of these teenagers.
Hundreds of concerned citizens packed an emotional
I don't know why this is taking so long to upload. It's really irritating me. I just added more RAM to this computer, so it shouldn't be going so slow.
hall meeting Wednesday night, worried all these vanished teens represent a disturbing spike in crime, and questioned if Black and Latino girls are being targeted.
We can't go nowhere about.
It's funny that they have to question whether Black and Latino girls, if 12 Black girls are missing within a 3-day span in the same city, in the same state, hello, obviously it's not a coincidence. Clearly they're being targeted. And it really disgusts me, because if these were blonde hair or blue eye or any kind of white girls, they would call every Amber Alert. I don't care if the kids are over 12. They would be on every news, every email news or internet news station. They would be everywhere. But because it is Black girls, they don't even care, except, oh wait, now social media is picking up, so we better do something, some kind of ad on it, or because we don't want to be looked at as racist, but even though they are. And this computer right now is really pissing me off.
We can't do nothing because we have to get worried about somebody trying to take us.
But city officials explain there aren't more missing teens, there's just more awareness. Part of a new effort by a police department often accused of overlooking cases of missing people of color.
I just implemented a process to ensure that all critical missing persons receive the same level of police service and media attention.
According to DC police, all 38 people currently missing walked away voluntarily, and 4 of the 8 in the initial tweet that garnered so much attention have since been located. But the concern is that those are still missing.
12-year-old walk away
in
voluntarily?
real danger.
When they go missing, guess what? You have a child out there, and there are people in our community that will prey on those children.
The concern is if authorities don't publicize their cases, they could end up like 8-year-old Felicia Rudd. Until a few weeks ago, she was the only missing person listed on the department site after she vanished 3 years ago this month. Her mother spoke to a local station at the time.
Come back home to your mother safely and unharmed, and I love you.
Seen here just days before her disappearance, many felt Religia's case didn't get enough coverage. She has never been found.
That community had no idea that this was an issue that was going on in their own backyard.
Which means there were no Amber Alerts.
Being transparent and putting out all missing person cases.
Which tells you there was no Amber Alert for this little brown girl. If there was, everybody that has a cell phone would in that area would have got an Amber Alert. It's annoying when they're on there, but I assure you that somebody would have heard that this girl was missing before she was found dead if she were white. But we don't live in a system of white supremacist terrorism. because that's what white people will have you believe. They will tell you that, oh, well, that had nothing to do with race. Well, how come if she was blonde, she would be have Amber Alerts everywhere? Everybody will know she's missing. This is disgusting, and this is white supremacist terrorism, which we need to bring a stop to. I just can't even.
It brings about awareness.
And many of these cases don't end up rising to the level of an Amber Alert. And that's something that some in the Black community point to as a sign that when Black children go missing, they simply don't get the same attention and coverage as when white children go missing. But the police chief here points out that under the current guidelines, an Amber Alert can only be issued if it's believed that the child has been abducted or that they're in imminent danger of injury or death. Amy.
All right, Lindsay, thank you. And joining us now is ABC News consultant and former FBI Special Agent Brad Garrett and ABC News senior legal correspondent Sunny Hostin. Thank you both for being with us. And Brad, residents in D.C. understandably alarmed at this news. What stands out to you about this particular case or these cases?
Well, one of the keys, Amy, is actually figuring out, and the police chief alluded to it, as to who is actually in deep trouble while they're missing. 2,000 kids go missing a day. That's 800,000 a year. The vast majority within hours or days are found. So you've got to sort out where could these kids potentially be, and are they in harm's way? And that's going to be the real key. And it does take a lot of energy to get to that end point.
All right, and Sunny, we mentioned that residents are understandably alarmed, but they're also understandably outraged at the lack of attention these stories often get. Why the discrepancy?
Well, there certainly is a disparity between when you have a missing person of color and a missing white person. Gwen Ifill, I think, coined the term missing white woman syndrome to explain this lack of coverage when there is a missing person of color. But I think it really starts in the way that they are classified. If someone is classified as a runaway, they certainly don't get media attention. They do not get police attention. They need to be classified very, very quickly as either.
Sorry, everybody. My niece is here again. I was not planning on doing a video, so she's making a lot of noise, but she's cute though.
Missing or kidnapped, and then you will get the media attention that is needed.
So it starts with law enforcement.
I do believe that it starts with law enforcement, and this mislabeling between runaway and missing makes them more susceptible to human sex trafficking. 40% of people that are missing are in this human sex trade, but because they aren't covered, these cases aren't covered, it makes them more susceptible to being taken.
So disturbing. And Brad, given what Sunny just said, what can investigators do to find these girls given the amount of time that's transpired?
The key with kids this age, Amy, are social media and phones. That's how they communicate.
It's funny how they're telling you that the lack of news media coverage on these little brown girls makes them more of a target and more of a victim, and being more likely to be snatched off the street and put into the sex trade, or which they like to throw out, even though most likely it is sex trade by these disgusting pedophiles that don't get prosecuted, that aren't in prison, that are, in my opinion, they should be just shot in the head. But the news media, they're helping whoever is taking these little black children by not putting it on TV. And that's just disgusting. And this is white supremacist terrorism. Nothing is being done about it. Okay, he's sitting there talking about, oh, well, we need to make sure that these kids didn't just go off on their own before we put them on the news. You're doing the news anyway. So instead of telling us how Coca-Cola is on sale, why don't you tell us about these brown girls that are missing? Okay, because they have news anyway. You're going to hear news no matter how stupid and meaningless it is, but he's trying to sit there and make an excuse for them not putting these little black and brown and Latino children on TV and saying they're missing, because first he needs to make sure, they need to make sure they're not somewhere on they want to be. Well, why don't you figure out where they're at first? Why don't you put them on news so that we can figure out where they are, and then we can ask them, why are they gone? Why are you missing? But we'll know that they're safe. How about that? How about you do that first? Because we know as soon as they're missing and they're white, there is an Amber Alert. Okay, they're on news. You're interviewing their parents. But how dare you sit there and act like a 12-year-old has the right? A 12-year-old doesn't have the right to be out running the streets. So you still need to find her. And that other little girl, what was she, 9? Yes, her life is in danger. If my 9-year-old is outside roaming the streets by himself, his life is in danger, regardless of whether someone stole him or if he walked off on his own. There's no reason that you are not out there looking for these brown children, except for the fact that they are brown. And that is disgusting. We need to take it as our job now to make sure these girls, their faces are out there, their story is out there, because these disgusting white supremacists do not care. Because you know what, their colleagues and their friends and their neighbors are the ones that are stealing these little girls. This guy doesn't care. He doesn't care if those little brown girls are missing. Why does he care? It's just, it's disgusting. It's just utterly disgusting, and it makes me like want to be very violent towards them, because how dare they? How dare you sit there and act like, oh, we would be wasting resources if we don't make sure that they're actually missing. No, find them first, and then that'll tell you whether they're missing or not. Like, really? Anyways, thank you guys for watching this video. I'm sorry about all the skipping. I don't know. I'll leave the link in a description box in case you want to just come and look at it yourself. Maybe look at the girls' pictures and see if you might notice some that you know, or maybe not. So it started off with 12 girls, but I guess there's actually 38 people missing in a tiny little area. This is disgusting, and I'm angry because they try to make light of the situation and make it seem like some of these girls aren't really, you know, it's 38, but some of them are found, but these 12 that just happen to be black, we didn't feel the need to put on the news. We just didn't need to put out any Amber Alerts or make another alert then. If your rules for the Amber Alert are a certain way, and you need to follow these different, if a child is missing, the child is missing, period. You need to locate the child by any means necessary. Like, what is this with this, oh, well, there these rules and guidelines, well, she needs to be white. That's what you need to say. The rules and guidelines are, if you're missing and you're brown, too bad. Because under our guidelines and criteria, you need to be white before we can put out an Amber Alert or put you on the news or let anybody know that you're missing, because we don't want to waste any of our resources.
Ellie, open. What are you eating?
Like, seriously. Thank you guys for watching this. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Please share the video. All you have to do is just go down here and click that share button, and it'll give you some options to share on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and share it as many times, because like they just said, social media is what is going to find these children, because these disgusting white supremacist news channels don't care about these brown kids, because they're probably in line to harvest their organs just with the other disgusting, evil albinoid devils.